When was the last time you intentionally went out and videoed yourself and your horse working together? Let me tell you, if you are riding alone without a regular trainer or instructor, this is a tool that you can use to actually get you and your horse making progress together, that you are the person giving the feedback. It's kind of like becoming your own instructor in a way. And today I want to tell you all about how to set it up for the best results for you and your horse. Okay, let's dive in. Hey there, and welcome to the Daily Strides podcast. My name is Orna Leeson. I'm an equestrian trainer and coach, and I work with riders from all over the world, helping them to go from bored and being stuck in a rut to actually learning new ways to work with their horse and being excited for each ride. And I especially love working with riders who don't have a trainer and a coach. And this episode this week is specifically for those riders. Now, obviously, all riders can use this, okay? But I'm really reaching out to my riders who don't have a regular person with them in the arena, providing feedback, helping them through all of the things. Because what I want to talk about today is how you can begin to use video in your riding, okay? So just bog standard, set your phone up, take a bit of an hour video, okay? How you can begin to use that to actually create a feedback loop for yourself. So you can kind of become your own riding instructor in a sense. Now, I get it, okay? You don't know all of the things, which is why I want to go deeper into this over the coming few episodes to actually tell you exactly what to look for, okay? So if you're listening to this in real time, you'll just have to wait till next week. If not, they're already there. Just let this play on and then the next episode, okay? But I want to help you to use this tool that I think we kind of all have access to in this day and age, okay? To be able to move the two of you forward, you and your horse forward. And of course, this works whether you are riding, whether you're lunging, whether you're long lining, whatever training method or whatever type of maybe horsemanship or partnership work that you're doing with your horse, this is going to work for you and it's going to help, okay? Now, I do think that for the most part, all video is helpful, okay? So any videos you see of you and your horse working together, yeah, you can definitely kind of look at it and begin to explore how it's going and what's happening and all that fun stuff. However, I do think that with a couple of just little tweaks, okay, couple of adjustments, we'll be able to actually capture something that's going to be far more beneficial in the long run. And of course, if you're doing that consistently, well, again, it's a little bit like being your own instructor or trainer, okay? So first and foremost would be the choice of your camera and the software. Now, do you have to have software? No. You're thinking, what software? Hold on. Let me first talk about the camera. So yes, you can use a fancy camera, okay? You can have a traditional camera. You know, one of those things that that's all they do, okay, is take photos or videos. So you can definitely use a camera, but you can also use your smartphone. And I think that nowadays, most of us have a smartphone with a camera of good enough quality, maybe even better quality than your normal bog standard camera if you haven't upgraded that lately. But yeah, so you have a phone there that you can take videos and you can use that videos. Now, once you've decided what you're going to use, whether you're going to use your phone or whether you're going to use an actual camera, the next thing is to decide if it's going to be stationary. So you're going to just prop it somewhere, okay? Or maybe attach it to a tripod. And you're just going to put it somewhere that you can kind of get the best sort of a view? Or are you going to invest in some sort of motion tracking software? Okay, so you get these things that you basically also attach to a tripod and then you attach your phone on top of it, kind of like it's the bit in the middle. But what it does is it follows you around the arena. Okay, so as you're riding, this thing moves the camera, moves your phone so that it's following you around the arena throughout the ride. Okay, so do you need it? No. Is it helpful? Yeah, I do think so. Because really and truly, you are not having to think about am I in the shot? Okay. Like, is the camera capturing this, or have I moved outside of the shot? Okay. So it can be useful from that regard, but no, it's definitely not essential. If you can just prop your phone somewhere, that can be good enough on its own, especially if you're getting started. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is the position of the camera. Okay, so the camera, your phone, whatever you're going to use to record yourself, I'm going to suggest placing it at a slightly higher vantage point. Okay, I see a mistake a lot of riders make is they put it on the ground. And first of all, you as soon as you kind of move closer to it, you're losing a lot of the picture of you and your horse. Okay, you probably see your horse's feet or your horse's legs. Okay, and while that's lovely, that's not really what we're going for here. So I would suggest putting it a little bit higher. You could put it on a tripod. You could attach it to a fencing post or prop it against a fencing post. You could use a mounting block. Okay, there's lots you can do, but what is important is that you have a good, clear and a wide angled view of your place that you're going to work. Okay, your arena or your paddock or wherever it is that you're going to work with your horse. Okay, so you have a good, clear view of that. Okay, now you want to make sure, especially if you've got your stationary camera, that it covers the part of the area you're going to be working in where you plan on spending the majority of the time when you're working with your horse. And you also want to have it in a place that you can capture a couple of different perspectives, like riding straight towards it from the left, from the right, okay? So you get all these different angles, different perspectives, just like if, let's say, I was in the arena working with you, I'd be walking around the arena a lot. I wouldn't be standing stationary because I want to see things from different angles. So you want to try and have your camera somewhere that by you just tweaking what you're doing and where you're riding, okay, and how you're approaching the camera, you can create that kind of a visual for yourself. Now, if you're using the motion tracking software, you can then put it on the tripod, and I would suggest putting it somewhere close to the center of the arena, but not on the center line. And I also want you to just keep in mind that sometimes, I've just noticed this using that kind of motion tracking software, sometimes if you ride close to the camera, okay, so if you're kind of within, let's say, a meter or two of it, it can actually lose you. Okay, it's like it goes, what? Where are you gone? Okay, it kind of gets confused. And you have to actually ride past it again a little bit further away for it to go, oh, there you are. And then it continues following on again, okay? So you don't want it too close to the center line. This is why I'm kind of forewarning you of this. So not tight on the center line and not like right beside it. You want it maybe back at the quarter line, somewhere there, okay? So you're a little bit away from your center line, okay? I think that's important as well. Okay, the next thing to look for is the lighting and the weather conditions. Now, I know this is a bit like Captain Obvious, but natural light is always the best. And this is because when you have floodlights, or if it's maybe there's a lot of shadows, and maybe there's direct sunlight that you have to ride into. I was on a lesson recently, a virtual lesson with a rider, and as the sun, I think the sun was setting, I'm trying to think, yes, how I know is it was morning here and she was in Australia. So it was afternoon kind of over there, okay? And so the sun was going down. I'm trying to think, was it going down or coming up? It was going down. And as the sun was going down, it became very kind of at one point of the arena, it actually became quite difficult to see what was going on during the lesson because of the shadows and just the way the light was kind of hitting things, and that it became quite difficult. So just keep that in mind as well, that you want kind of natural sunlight where the sun is high in the sky, okay? And that there's not a whole lot of harsh shadows and stuff like that, okay? Now, obviously rain is a no-no for the equipment, so I wouldn't suggest doing that. And the wind can also be a little bit risky from the perspective that it might blow over, or that maybe branches or that could land on top of it and damage your equipment, okay? So try choosing like a fair, calm, dry day, you know, one of those ideal days. But remember, we're trying to capture the best visuals here. And what's also nice, and why I say calm, is because very often when you're recording yourself, you can talk to yourself, okay? So you're going to talk to future you that you know is going to be reviewing this video at some point. And you can say, okay, I'm noticing that blah, 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 blah is going on here. Or, okay, this just happened out of the screen. It's not going to be in the shot of the video, but just to remind myself that such and such of a horse got away from its maybe leader or whatever and is now running loose and my horse is responding to that, okay? So things like that you can actually leave yourself voice notes. I do think that's helpful, and it does need to be pretty calm for you to do that. Okay, my next suggestion is to use markers. Now, I know so many people are against using markers. They're like, no, I don't do dressage, so therefore I don't use markers. No, wrong. Okay, markers are great, okay? You have to use them. We don't have to, but it certainly makes life easier using markers when you're working with your horses, okay? They help you to be more accountable. And remember, you're your own trainer now. So any help you can get is good, okay? We're going to welcome all the help with open arms. So you want to think about having markers set up that you can use. You could use cones, you could do handmade or homemade markers, okay? It doesn't matter. But having them at kind of key points or strategic points around the arena, they're going to help you to be consistent with the size and the shape and the quality of the different movements that you're going to ride, okay? So they are important. I would also suggest, if necessary, setting up markers that would help to identify the center line if you're going to be working on that, especially if you're working on straightness or transitions. They can be a great help as well. Okay, my next tip is to test your equipment before you begin. Now, I know this seems like real Captain Obvious, but I know so many riders. Remember, I work with riders all the time doing this, and they think everything is fine, only for them to finish this great ride where they feel like, oh, this is going to be so good. I can use this now for whatever I want to use it for, and finding out that it didn't maybe record, or there was a leaf in the way, or something random got in the way, whatever, okay? But they lost it. It did not work out. So just do a little test video. This can also be useful because I think sometimes we can be a little, naive when it comes to the size of the movements that we're riding, and we think we're still inside of the screenshot. And we're not, and we've left the screen long time ago already, and we're performing all the things we're supposed to be doing, maybe it's transitions or something, out of the actual shot that the video is capturing, okay? So you want to make sure that you're in there, that whatever you're going to be doing, you're going to be able to capture it where the camera is. So do a test run. And my final suggestion is to have a plan. I tell you now, if you're just going in, setting up the video and wandering around, yeah, you'll get something from it. Of course you will. But over time, that is not going to help you to actually grow and to develop as a rider. I want you to start thinking about having like a specific goal that you're working towards. So maybe it's smoother transitions or increased responsiveness. Maybe it's for you. Maybe it's to work on your position or your posture or something like that, okay? But you're then able to review the video later, just like a riding instructor would have done if they were in the arena with you at the time. Because if you're working on something specific, and you can see then by the actual visuals that are being presented in front of you, whether it's live or whether it's reviewing it afterwards, you can see, hold on, that's not going to lend itself to the thing that they want, okay? They are definitely not going to work. They're rubbing up against each other. You can then get more out of the reviews. I'm also going to suggest that you create time to do the review within 24 or 48 hours of actually creating the video, okay? So when you actually rode with your horse or worked with your horse, that you're creating the review pretty close after that. I think that that's really, really important as well, okay? Now, I think that if you follow these steps and you begin to do this consistently, you're going to see a huge difference in your riding. This can help you. And as I said, the following couple of episodes that are coming, I'm going to go into the details on what to look for when you're doing the video review, so you know exactly what to look for. But I do think that these are really going to help you with your horse going forward. And if you want to find out about virtual lessons, so I give riders virtual lessons all over the world. You can pop over to stridesforsuccess.com/virtual. You can find out more about those there as well if you're interested in doing something like that. Okay, I am going to leave it at that. Have a super day, keep well, and I'll chat to you soon. Be good. Bye.